Hi, I'm Peter Mezitt, president of Weston Nurseries, out here by Weston by the Yard in Hopkinton on Route 135. And I'm going to talk to you today about all the bulk materials we sell out of this facility here. Today I wanted to give you a little education of all the products we make, how we make them, and why you should use them, and the best applications to use them around your property. This is Weston's best compost, we call it. We produce thousands of yards of this every year. It is a mid-level nutrient-rich compost, so there is a nutrient kick to the soils with nitrates and beneficial bacteria that come along with it. I'm a big user of this compost. I've used it all my life. You know, I can honestly say getting your lawn or your planting bed established with a good amount of compost, and a good amount meaning 2-3 inches incorporated into the top 6 to 8 inches, you've built a high organic growing medium for your lawn or for your planting beds. By putting this down as a base early on, you're going to notice very healthy roots and by extension very healthy plants, and you don't need as much fertilizer. And also the physical benefits of putting the compost in is you don't need to water as much. Compost naturally will hold on to water, sandy soils in particular, where the water might go right through. This soils will retain the water in periods of prolonged droughts, which we've been tending to get a lot of. My plants get through these drought periods much better because I put a heavy amount of compost into my sandy soils, which I happen to have at my house. This is straight loam, which ours is a very high organic loam, probably in that 5 to 8% organic matter range. Again, screened down to 1/2 inch. One of our top selling products when people just need to establish a lawn, maybe top dress, or establish a garden bed of some sort. It changes a little over time depending on the feedstock that we get in, but this one is on the siltier side right now, so it'll hold on to plenty of nutrients. And by us mixing in a little bit of compost in here, when we make it, it's going to loosen the bulk density a little bit so water drains through, but it'll still hold on to a lot of water in prolonged periods of drought. But it's a pretty heavy product, and as I said, this is what we sell a lot of here at Weston Nurseries. So this is our unscreened loam here, and you can see it's not very attractive, but this is what comes in from site development work in the area, landscapers dropping off some scraped up soils and subsoils from their jobs. We have to take all that and say, what's our recipe to make a good high organic loam? But obviously, once we mix it all together, we got to put it through a screener, and then we end up with a lot of rocks and sometimes some big sticks. And eventually with these rocks, we can crush them up and sell that product too. So everything's really recycled around here. This is our vegetable mix. It's a little wet right now, but this is a mixture. It's heavier now because it's half loam or topsoil and half compost, 50-50 blend. So it's very high in organic matter. I'd say the compost alone is probably 25-30% organic matter, and the loam alone is probably 4% organic matter. Well, this might be closer to 10 or 12% organic matter. This would be used as is for raised beds or vegetable gardening or any of your island plantings front of the house, any of your landscape areas around your house. So a lot of people are buying this because they don't have to mix the compost in with existing soil. They may have some sandy soil, some clay soil. They want to bring the grade up a little bit anyway. This is the perfect product to give you good long-term growth results. With vegetables, you'll have a little bit of a nutrient kick in here more than you would with just regular loam. We just made our leaf mulch. You can see it's a little on the brown side, and as it will break down a little bit over the next month or so, this will get nice and almost black. But this is a great product. We just started making this about 5 years ago. It's gaining in popularity every year, and it's just ground up, probably halfway composted leaves ground up. So these are leaves from fall 2024, and it's now end of March, beginning of April 2025. And it doesn't blow away, it tends to stay put on the ground, and it's got a lot of nutrients in there that will actually not rob nitrogen from the soil, but actually add nitrogen to the soil. It's really good for kind of fine gardening. I'd recommend it more for perennial plantings or annual seasonal color plantings. I'd also recommend it for woody shrubs and tree beds as well. So try it out. You can see the leaf compost from last year's nice and black and all broken down, but you can still see the little twigs and leaves in here. This is really what it will look like. This is our #1 selling mulch. It's one we make right here. We take a lot of our old brush and branches and grind them up in late fall, early winter, let them age, turn nice and dark, and then we introduce a bunch of bark from spruce and pine trees in with that. So you have a little more of the brush. It's close to a 50-50 mix when it's all done of the bark and our old ground up branches. And we call it our Weston's premium dark pine mulch. You can see how dark that is right there. This is a little wet right now, but this is our eco mulch, what we call our eco mulch. It's supposed to emulate the forest floor, and it has a lot more carbon in it and a lot less nutrients. It's a mixture of about 80% our old wood chips that we take in at no charge from the local tree companies, and some leaf matter mixed in, and then we put it through the grinder. So like I say, it's supposed to emulate the forest floor. Eco meaning ecology, and eco because it's economical. And it will be a little lighter brown in color. Right now it's a little wet than our pine spruce mulch that we make. The premium dark pine spruce mulch is a little bit darker than this. So this has gained a lot in popularity because it's such a natural forest floor product that people want to use in more native plant settings and edges of the woods to emulate the forest floor. Wicklow Wood Recycling is who we use to grind up our brush and raw bark to make into a finished bark mulch product. They make our pine spruce mulch, they make our eco mulch, and they grind the halfway composted leaves to make our leaf compost mulch. Working with them for probably close to 2 decades. Seamus and his son Michael. All right, so this is our hemlock blend. So it's mostly hemlock. It's also got some pine and spruce. Comes from Maine, and it has a colorant, which is a vegetable-based colorant that's entirely safe, and it doesn't leak out all over the place, and it's not that really ugly red color. I don't like that stuff. This is more of an orangey brown to accentuate the hemlock, because the hemlock has that color naturally too. So like our hemlock mulch, this is our black forest mulch, and it's also dyed. Not as much actual bark probably in this product. It does come from Maine as well, so there is some bark content. But people like this because it's really the darkest product. It's black, and it maintains that black once it's down in the landscape. These are just plain wood chips that come in from arborists and tree companies in the area. And we don't charge them to drop off here. They've already done the grinding for us. But we do maintain the pile, and we use this feedstock for our eco mulch and a little bit with our composting to create more airspace during the decomposition phase. So trucks come down with bark mulch made from the companies, the paper mills mostly up in Maine, and they want to not go back empty, so they bring some chips up and they use it as a source of fuel. In addition to the compost products, the soil products, and the mulch products, we also sell stone-based products. This is our dense grade. It's used for walkways and patios as the base material. You probably want this to be 7 or 8 inches thick on top of solid subsoil ground. And it's a mixture of the 3/4 inch crushed stone along with sand mixed together, so it really packs up tight like concrete. And this is what you'd go over many times with your compactor. You probably put it down in lifts of 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches to get a compacted 6 or 7 inches in the end. This is called our dense grade. When you're building a walkway or a patio or putting down manufactured stone or even natural stone applications, you want the top inch approximately to be a finer sand on top of that compacted dense grade paver base material. This is your sand based material for the very top, where your stone will go right on top of it, and we sell that here too at Weston Nurseries. And for all the work you do around your trenches with pipes, you can use sand, but you can also use 3/4 inch crushed stone. People use this for driveways, drainage areas. Maybe a downspout comes off your roof and you want a nice deep section of 3/4 inch crushed stone so your water goes down into the ground and not all over your planting bed or your lawn area. So this is our 3/4 inch crushed stone that we sell at Weston. It really drains well with all the airspace between the angular stone here. You can see how water would just go right down through it.